Hello everyone, this is me Anushka and welcome to Bioexplaining. In this video, we are going to talk about online learning versus offline learning. So let's begin. Okay, so nowadays what we can see is online education is gaining a lot of importance, right? And parallelly, offline education is also present. So naturally, there are a lot of questions in our minds, in the minds of students, as well as in the minds of parents as to which is better, whether online learning is better or offline learning is better. So in this video, let us consider the pros and cons of both online learning and offline learning, and then see what conclusion do we arrive at. Let's begin. We are talking about online learning on one side, and in the other side, we'll be talking about offline learning. So the first point that we have is online learning saves travel time and cost. Say you have to attend a tuition which is around 2 kilometers from your place. So you will require a few minutes to go there. Say, for example, you might require 15 to 30 minutes to go there. Now, we also have scenarios where people travel a lot to reach a certain class. So, in that cases, you might take hours to reach the place and again hours to come back home from that place. But in case of online learning, what happens is we save that travel time and cost, which in the case of offline learning, lots of time is taken. And it's not only about time, it's also about money, both time as well as money. Say, for example, somebody travels via his or her own car. So, in that case, what happens to them is they use quite some money for the traveling purpose. Even if you travel via public transport, you waste a lot of your time in going and you also strain yourself. The next point is that in online learning, you have the ability to access lectures from anywhere. So this is from the student's point of view. Student's point of view. Now, what about the teacher's point of view? From the teacher's point of view, the teacher can also conduct the class from any remote location. Say, for example, today I am not at home. Suppose I have gone somewhere else for a 3-day vacation or something like that. And I have very necessary classes to take. So I can dedicatedly take out at least 1 hour time from there and I can conduct the class if it is of utmost necessity. But that kind of necessity cannot be met in case of offline learning. It is a must that the teacher as well as the student or the students need to be physically present at that location, right? Now, what are the other points that we have? In case of online learning, you can have access to the recordings of the lecture. Say you cannot attend a certain class due to any physical ailment or due to some urgency at home or whatever the reason might be, you can very well get back and then access the recordings of those lectures. So you do not have the fear of missing out if you cannot attend an online live class. On the other hand, what happens in offline learning is that you have no access to the recordings. That means if you do not have attendance, that's equal to your lecture missed. You're absent means you do not have any more access to the teacher teaching in front of you. You might be able to gather the notes from your friends or you might have the study materials, but the classroom experience is lost. The other point of comparison is that online learning is much less strenuous as you take your classes from home. On the other hand, in case of offline learning, you have to pack your bags and you have to go from one place to the other, then again come back from that place to home. So that way you get a lot more tired. And once you come back home, you have little energy left to once again take out your books and study everything properly, right? What are the other points that we have? The other points we have are, in case of online learning, you can choose which educators or which institute or which company or organization you want to take your lectures from. Say, suppose I might like some company XYZ and that specific educator of theirs. So even if I am sitting here in Kolkata and the person is sitting somewhere in Kota, so I don't have any problem in accessing the lectures of that person. So I can choose the educators of my choice from anywhere of the world. In case of offline learning, I have very limited options. So I only have to choose somebody within my locality so as to minimize my travel time. Or if I sacrifice the travel time, the max I can travel is within my city. So it limits the option of your educator as well as the institute from where you are receiving the education. What is another point? The other point is that online learning is overall affordable. You minimize your costs on traveling, plus the charges are also much lesser as compared to offline learning. Definitely, because if somebody has to conduct offline learning, that company or that educator needs to have a dedicated space for that, needs to have proper setups to teach you all in the classroom. So all of it includes a certain cost. So that is definitely reflected in what you pay to get the lectures from the person. On the other hand, online learning, the setup required is much less. With one setup, with one complete setup, I can conduct all of my classes and I can cater to lakhs of students together, right? So online learning is much more affordable. Then students can decide their own pace of learning in case of online learning. Say I am a very slow learner, you are a very fast learner. So today a live lecture has been taken. We both have attended the class. Now since I am a slow learner, tomorrow I can once again play the recording and slowly make my notes and go through it all over again. But since you're a fast learner, you've already got the hang of it, so you need not go back to it and revise again. So we can decide at what pace we learn. On the other hand, in case of offline learning, every student needs to have the same pace. There's no option of pausing the lecture, making the notes in between, once again going back, revising. So whatever you need to assimilate, you have to take it all within the class, then come back home and do whatever you have to with your notes, right? So this is again another major difference. So these are the major points where you've seen that online learning gives you a certain added advantage as compared to offline learning. Now, let us see that in what ways online learning is a little backward as compared to offline learning. In online learning, there might be cases that you're facing some internet issues or technical problems which might arise. But again, these are all occasional problems. You will not have internet issues every day. Maybe twice in a month you might have the internet issue, right? While in case of offline learning, there is no such hindrance. Your internet, your technical issues do not cause any problems. The other point is, in online learning, suppose I am a student who am a very lazy student, I tend to procrastinate a lot, बाद में कर लेंगे attitude वाला student. So for students like us, what we do is, अच्छा, I couldn't attend this lecture. Say I won't sit right now to do the recording class. I'll sit tomorrow. Then tomorrow I think I'll sit day after tomorrow. So that way, some kind of procrastination comes in, or the motivation kind of reduces, that there's no one physically standing in front of me and telling that you have to do this lecture right now. So that is a little negative point. On the other hand, in offline learning, you have a compulsion that I have to go to the class, I have to attend it, my teacher is in front of me, the person is supervising what am I learning. Then there are other points also. In case of online learning, more screen time is involved. That means you're continuously looking at your mobile or you're continuously looking at your laptop while you're studying, while you're revising. While in case of offline learning, no such usage of computers and mobiles are involved. So in this regard, a very important thing to say is, as it is kids, teenagers, us, everybody nowadays, we have the tendency to use our mobiles for a long time, right? We keep on swiping up shorts and watching them, reels and all that things, right? So in order to, more screen time that is required in online learning, to weigh down this disadvantage, what does the student need to do? The student needs to cut down on the screen time for entertainment purposes, right? While in case of offline learning, since you need not use mobiles and computers for your study purpose, so after you finish studying with your pen and paper and books, you can have a little time to go through your mobile and computer for entertainment. So this is again a little disadvantage of online learning. The other point is that, say, students who are living in rural areas, students who are living in hilly regions, there are cases where they do not have access to gadgets like mobile phones, computers, laptops, or they do not have good connectivity. Internet connection is not good. So for them, online learning is absolutely not suitable. So they should resort to offline learning where such kind of gadget dependency is not present. So now that you have seen the various points where online learning is more beneficial, points where offline learning is supposedly more beneficial, so now you are the best person to decide what is good for you. Whether you will benefit from online learning or whether you will benefit from offline learning is absolutely up to what you think is good for yourself, right? But all I can say is that online learning is equally good as offline learning. This is something that I very strongly believe. There are a lot of times that parents come and tell me that, ma'am, will it be possible to conduct biology classes in an online mode? Don't you need to draw diagrams and explain or something like that? So then we say that, then I give them this point that I do not find a lot of difference in online and offline learning. Why? Because if I have to do an offline class, I'll be drawing on my blackboard. If I have to do an online class, I will be using my pen tab to draw on the screen. So the student sees the exact same thing. The person will see me face to face. In online, you'll see me through a screen. You'll hear the same voice, you'll hear the same content, you'll see the same things drawn, the same things written. So I do not find any difference, and according to me, online learning is much more beneficial. It saves a lot of time. It helps you to focus completely. You sit in your own room and you focus and learn. While in offline learning, you go, you meet 50 others children, you'll chit chat, talk. Yes, that is essential. Social interaction is definitely essential. But for preparation, for studies, more concentration is required, right? So the take home message from my end would be that online learning is equally good as offline learning, if not better. So that's it about online versus offline learning. If you find this video useful, then please like, comment, share and subscribe to my channel by explaining. Thank you. Meet you in the next video. Bye bye.